Good morning, friends. My name is Paolo. I'm the director of music here. My pronouns are he and him. It's wonderful to see you today. I'm going to open this service similarly to a few weeks ago when we arrived here in maybe a similar mood, and invite you to stand with me, enter the space in body and spirit, let all of your air out, and breathe it back in. And I invite you, as you're able, willing, interested, to scooch in closer so that our collective mass is denser and stronger together. And now would you sit with me? And just like a few weeks ago, would you put into your mind's eye the coziest place in your life? Mine is my fiance and I have a small room adjoining our bedroom that looks out over our kind of patio and has a tiny little couch and probably more mass in blankets than couch. And that's my coziest place. So wherever that is for you, would you conjure it up in your mind? And we're going to practice cozy resistance. Turn your attention to your legs, starting from your pelvis, your hips, all the way down to your toes. And put those body parts where they would be in your coziest place. If that means, like it would for me, sitting cross-legged, or with one leg out in front of you, move your attention up the body, and as you do, let each part of your body into that cozy space. Feel the mass of your body settle into the earth as you do this. One hand on the chest. Resonate into it. The other hand on the belly. Feel the sound you make at the top of your body spread in waves to the bottom. Connecting you to the only thing that you know, that you are here and that this space is yours. You can sing this note too if you want. Keep breathing, and whenever you breathe, notice that the sound your neighbor makes continues. Your voice fills your entire body with brightness. Earlier this year, I had the privilege of working with a South African cellist by the name of Abel Sela Ochoe. And he taught us this song called Senzeni Na, which I'd like to teach you now, which I only learned afterwards is the South African "We Shall Overcome," in a sense. Senzeni na, senzeni na, senzeni na, senzeni na, zenzenina, 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 zenzenina. The text is Zulu for what have we done, as in what have we done to deserve what is happening. Zenzenina, 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 zenzenina. Would you sway with me? Just gently. If you ever find that you begin singing and your body stops moving, you're doing something wrong. Zenzenina, 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 zenzenina. What have we done? 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 If you feel your body full of music, will you let the music exit your body and fill the room? What have we done? 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 What have we
Good morning, you beautiful singing, humming people. My name is Reverend Laura. I use she, her pronouns, and it's my privilege to serve as an assistant minister here. It's also my joy and privilege to lead worship today with Nico Van Ostren, our kick-ass Cummins ministerial intern, Reverend Jen Crow, Zoe Olson, Pablo Dubuque, and Amy Bryant. Gratitude to John and Olu, who run our tech and allow us to have a Zoom presence for folks who are joining us from home. Welcome, people from home. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here this morning, for showing up after a week of incredible energy on Friday it was, I guess, taking it to the streets, and then so much anger and sadness and so many feelings about the murder at the hands of federal agents. It's hard to even get words out sometimes. Thank you for choosing connection, for choosing community, for showing up for the power of love and all that happens whenever we're together. Welcome to this community that we create together. If you're new, we are so glad you came this morning. You will notice afterwards people head down to a social hall. There's a table for newcomers, so if you find it overwhelming, grab coffee and sit there. If you've been here many times and you recognize many people who are here, welcome back. It is good to be together. Welcome to this place where we lean into the Universalist understanding of faith that names each and every one of us and all people as whole and holy and worthy, welcome and wanted, and always room to grow. Welcome to a community of love and hope committed to practicing the beloved community, grounded in a love so inclusive and expansive and irresistible that it cannot help but transform us individually and collectively, creating a world here and now of mutual thriving for all. There's been a metaphor that I've been resisting that's been happening during this surge. It's a metaphor of a marathon, that we're in a marathon. And I don't know about you, but I've never wanted to run a marathon. I prefer the metaphor of a relay. A relay, realizing that when you have the baton, you may be running hard, but when you tap out, you hand it over to someone else and they're running hard. Think of when we were just humming. When you stopped to take a breath, it went on. It went on. Know that if you have to tap out, there will be other people running. There will be other people humming, and the music will continue. The worship themes for this month are resilience, rest, and justice. We planned these a while ago, so there you go. Yeah. In order to fight for justice and have the strength and courage to fight injustice, we need to pay attention to our own health and well-beings of our bodies and our spirits. We can stay resilient when we are conscious of balance and imbalance of our energies and how we're contributing to the greater good at this time. And the third word in that trilogy of resilience, rest, and justice is rest. I was at a vigil at Unity last night, and during the quiet time of a Buddhist spiritual practice teaching, I fell asleep. And dear Rachel, sitting in the front row, our communication person, turned to me and said, "Wasn't that amazing?" And I just sort of had to smile and agree, but honestly, I had been gone. And I know that the vigil here on Thursday night, I spent the whole time weeping. I couldn't sing a song. My pockets were full of Kleenex by the end. So however you arrive here, know whatever you are feeling, whatever you need, I hope you can get it here, even if you have to fall asleep today. It's all good. Let this be a place of rest, of song, of connection, and inspiration. And let it be a place that reminds you that you exist in a body, and a body that's experiencing trauma simply by living in this area and experiencing all that's going on. From this space of connection and calm, we remember the hopes and promises that keep us together, and we say the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We're going to take just like a moment, honestly a moment, because we have to have our kids head down to religious education. But if you could turn to one person next to you, just one person, introduce yourself, say your pronouns, and Olu, if you would put that slide back up, just talk about which part of our covenant is calling you today. It's going to be short, and then we're going to sing you back in. Go. Thank you, dear ones. In this community, we make time to be together, and we also make space that is just right for different communities among us. And so we are all growing in our spiritual lives, even when we're in different spaces and in different groups. So now it's time for us to sing our children and youth and send them off to their amazing teachers and guides. Begin to make your way to the back of the sanctuary, and there'll be folks waiting there with flags. And let us sing the kids and the youth and the teachers and the guides out.
I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
My name is Jen Crow. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve as the senior minister here. Every time we gather, we engage in the spiritual practices that can transform us and our world. We will often say, when it's time for our offering, that we are liberating our financial resources, because we have a belief here that when we all share what we have, we can all have what we need. It's a radically different foundation for living and for ways of being. And we don't just share of our financial resources, we share of our relational resources as well. The connections we have with each other and beyond these walls matter as we care for one another in this world. I'd love to hear a little bit about our foundation. Ginny, would you come on up and tell us our First Universalist Foundation is one of the ways we share in those relational resources.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ginny Belden Charles. I use she and her pronouns. and I'm a member of the church's foundation board this year. To quote the Detroit activist and one of my teachers, Grace Lee Boggs, "We never know how our small activities will affect others through the invisible fabric of our connectedness. In this exquisitely connected world, it's never a question of critical mass. It's always about critical connections." Never have I seen this more in action than over the last few weeks in Minnesota and Minneapolis, as hundreds and thousands are taking action together. The Foundation Board is one way in which First Universalist widens our vision to see what we must see and strengthen critical connections within our community. Do you know of a group or nonprofit in our area that's making a positive impact? Maybe they're advocating for immigrants' rights, supporting immigrants in food and rent, fighting for racial justice, tackling climate change, standing up for human rights. If you do, we want to know about it. Our foundation board started in 1984 with one goal: to help make our community a more just and inclusive place. We do this by giving money to small nonprofits, working with young leaders, advocates, and communities that need support. We love supporting grassroots and boots-on-the-ground nonprofits right here in the Twin Cities metro area. Each year, we give away between $75,000 and $150,000. Nonprofits can receive anywhere from $1,000 to $15,000, and over the past 5 years, we've given away more than $500,000. So how can you help? It's simple. If there's an organization you think should get one of these grants, you can nominate them. The deadline for nominations is next Saturday, January 31st, and nominations are required from one of you for an organization to apply. So your nominations are critical, and you do not have to be a member to nominate someone. To nominate a nonprofit, find the submission form on our church website under the Faithful Action tab. And throughout this month, we'll have an information table in the social hall after the service where you can learn more about the foundation and how to nominate an organization. We look forward to seeing who you nominate. Your critical connections are needed, and together we can make a big difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you to Ginny and to everyone who serves on the foundation board, present and past. We're grateful for your leadership. Today, as we share what we have, I want to remind us that if this is a time when you are struggling financially or emotionally or spiritually or any of the ways, please reach out to each other and please reach out to the ministers or the staff. We have funds available to help care for one another. We have listening ears and open hearts, and we are here for each other. If this is a time when you can give, I invite you to give today, and you'll see the QR code up there. You can give in the baskets. The offering today is going to go to March, which is the organization. It's a multi-faith anti-racism change and healing group that are the ones, maybe you heard that there were a few clergy in town this week. There haven't been a few clergy in town. Are any of them here today? Will you just let us know? I know I saw at least David. Thanks for being here. Some of the clergy decided to stick around after yesterday, and we're grateful. March is the group that organized this clergy call and did so much of the training for everyone that arrived so that they can take their learnings back into the communities that they serve and can start to set up some of the networks of resistance that we have begun to develop here in Minneapolis and that we have a long history of here. So that is where your offering is heading today, is toward March, and it will be turned to use to their mutual aid network to help immigrants and others in need right now. So this morning's offering will be gratefully received.
sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you. And so I want you to know that I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. We walk the path with you. Go slow, dear, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
If you need to hear that song at home, it's Melanie DeMore, I'm Sending You Light, and I think our Amy just maybe even sang it better than the recording, so thank you, Amy. Felt like a prayer. So as I move into a time of meditation and prayer together this morning, just sink even deeper into the pews. Let your feet rest on the ground. Let your arms and hands rest in your lap or beside you. If you like to close your eyes, feel free to. If you like to keep them open, feel free to. But let's just take 3 deep, intentional breaths together. We often say here, you are not alone, we are holding it together. And I know Jen referenced that we had a lot of ministers here. I can tell you we checked in 600 on Thursday morning. They all gathered at Westminster Presbyterian to study what was going on here, to learn actions that they can take back to their own communities. We had 200 UU ministers eating dinner downstairs on both Thursday and Friday night. It was quite something. So we are not alone, and others are holding it with us. One of the people who's holding it with us is the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. She wrote this prayer after she marched with hundreds of us in solidarity, and then after the federal agents shot Alex Preddy yesterday. God of many names and one abundant love, we come with a spirit of gratitude, hearts broken, open wide. Thank you for the visible, thriving, insistent power of everyday people that some of us witnessed through frozen lashes, caught up in the swell of humanity on the streets of Minneapolis. Thank you for a labor movement that has long taught us to right-size fear of the oppressor and lean instead into the sacred and unrelenting power of the people. Thank you for faith traditions that are grounded in love of neighbor, a love that calls us unflinchingly to care for one another and to respond when violence comes in all of its forms. On this day, as we once again grieve in horror at the mindless and morally bankrupt murder of yet another observer in South Minneapolis, help us stay connected to one another as grief and rage, exhaustion and despair make their way through us and through our communities. We know that the egregious use of violence, the deployment of young children as bait, the threatening of our leaders, and the violation of basic human rights are all tactics to trap us in fear and to convince us to believe lies about our own power and moral responsibility. The cost of such terrorizing tactics are unspeakably high. Help us to prepare our resistance for the long haul, inspire our disruption, and keep us connected in these destabilizing times. Keep the strains of protest songs alive in our hearts for the coming weeks, months, and years. No one is getting left behind this time. We will sing until our songs are songs of victory and our children know themselves to be safe and whole. May it ever be so. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the songs of compassion. Oh, in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the land, giving life the shape of justice. Holy Ghost, please set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
My name is Zoe Olson. I've been a member of the church for about as long as I can remember. I'm a youth representative on the board. I'm a member of youth leadership team, shout out, and I've been involved in childcare for a while. So I'm pretty involved with the church. I love it here. And about 2 weeks ago, I asked Nico at the board meeting if I could speak here at service about my experiences and just everything that's going on. And I want to acknowledge before I begin that when I wrote this, not even 3 days ago, I think, in that time, many more tragic events have occurred, and they are not referenced in this, and that does not at all make them less valid. It does not at all make them less real. And I want you to know that I am holding that in my heart as much as all of you, and I know that it is having a big impact on our community. From the time that I was very young, I have been surrounded by a very diverse community. The first few years of my life were spent in an apartment in Powderhorn that we called the Castle. filled by all different kinds of people with all different kinds of stories. I remember walking down to the global market with my family and getting my favorite sweet corn tamales from La Loma, which are to this day my favorite meal. I remember dancing on the little glass tiled dance floor with all of my friends and neighbors. I remember there were often performers, whether it was a music or dance group, and I remember they were often from different cultures. I remember smelling all of the foods from different parts of the world surrounding me. I remember hearing different languages and accents being spoken in. I remember everyone looking different. I remember none of it mattering. I remember that was why I loved it. Everyone had a different story, which was what made it so fun. I loved listening to the performers talking about their cultures. I loved the smells of the different kinds of food from the vendors. I loved learning new dances from new people. Everyone was different and it didn't matter. This was one of my first experiences of a beloved community, a community in which everyone cared about each other, even when they didn't know each other very well. They showed up for each other in many ways, even if it was just one mom offering to watch another mom's kid for a minute so she could run to the restroom. A person is a person. The color of someone's skin does not determine their humanity. Every day, people in our communities are getting kidnapped, their lives completely uprooted. Sometimes when something so terrible is going on, it almost doesn't feel real. That is how it was for me as I drove past my school and saw ICE agents leaving, and teachers, students, and staff I know and love looking afraid and enraged. Seeing the tear gas still lingering in the air from only moments before when ICE agents used it against students from my high school. This is how it was for me when I was sitting on stand at work and my coworker told me that ICE was outside waiting to harass the primarily Hispanic and Somali children and families that I teach in swim lessons each week. This is how it was for me when my mom explained to me that she was going to be late to pick me up because ICE was attempting to take my neighbor just down my block, and she needed to be there. These are my beloved communities, and what is happening within them is terrifyingly real. If by some miracle you still have not been directly impacted by what is going on, I hope that you are still taking action. Please speak up. Please walk out. Please find some way to fight back against the attacks on our communities. There are so many ways to take action, and no action is too small. Whether you can deliver boxes each week to families who cannot leave their homes, or drop off one item at a school collecting donations, you are making an impact. Whether you are attending protests as they occur, or standing out on a corner each afternoon to make sure children make it out of school safely, you are making an impact. No matter how small you think your action may be, you are making an impact. I recently read a quote that said, "Staying silent in times of injustice is privilege," and I felt that it was extremely important to share. Whether you consider yourself an activist or not, and whether you tend to be politically outspoken or not, this is beyond politics. Real people's real lives are at stake, and standing by and watching is not okay. There are people who cannot speak up, people who have been taken and had their voices silenced. Please, if you are able, please find some way to take action for those who can't. It is not too late and no action is too small. The only wrong way to help is to do and say nothing. If you are waiting for a call to action, please let this be it. And if you need help finding ways to support our community, myself as well as the ministers would be more than happy and willing to connect you with opportunities after service. Our church is centered around values, such as honoring our differences and loving each other despite them. We preach equality and loving our neighbors, but what good are our words if our actions don't reflect them? I ask you to, at some point today, take a moment to think about all that is going on in our communities and what you have done. In what ways have you shown up, and in what ways could you have done more? I want you to be honest with yourself. This is not about feeling guilty. It is about being a part of our community and being there for our neighbors. As members of this church, we have a responsibility to practice what we preach and support efforts to help families in need during this difficult time. I invite each of you to think of just one more way, as little as big or as you would like, that you can take action and commit to doing it. Thank you.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. 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 Gather by the fire, gather at the well, gather near the temple, gather where you dwell, gather before sunrise, gather at midday, gather in the twilight, gather where you live. We are the ones we've been waiting for. 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 Gather in the moment, gather in the sound, gather in the silence, gather all around, gather through the seasons, gather for the light, gather for the healing, gather for the night. We are the ones we've been waiting for. 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 Lie me down, take a breath, turn out the light and be. We are the ones we've been waiting for. 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 We are the ones we've been waiting for.
This week, and really the last many weeks at this point, it's been the songs that are getting me through. I hope they're landing in your heart too. There's been a particular song I've found myself singing all the time this week. When I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing, when I can't find my snow pants or my phone or my keys or what day of the week it is, I've been finding myself coming back to this song that a friend brought to me this week. See if I can remember it. I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Ooh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Gonna put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Ooh. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. I don't know about you, but for me, I literally start snapping and I start smiling even when I'm going into some of the most awful situations, and it is rooting me and helping me. Lead with love. I have been traveling into some places I'd rather not be this past week, and I'm guessing you have too. I just want to tell you a few of those places that song and all of you have been going with me this week. Thursday and Friday, as you heard, we had hundreds and hundreds of clergy in town and faith leaders learning about nonviolent civil disobedience, learning about mutual aid, learning about how to resist authoritarianism, learning about how to claim and reclaim our moral voice, because that is what it's going to take. We gathered here kind of last minute on Thursday. I think we had like 500 clergy and faith leaders in the building for specifically training on nonviolent civil disobedience that happened at the airport the next day on Friday. I sang my way through that. I think probably some of the staff and volunteers did too, as we tried to make it work here, and we did, as we were serving dinner. I sang that song on the way to the airport, riding in the car with Kate Tucker, Minister Emerita, and Justin Schroeder. We sang it together as we knelt at the airport and were arrested together. I found my way to singing it yesterday morning when I heard from a friend of mine that a friend of ours who was here right over there last week had been detained by ICE yesterday morning, which he was released last night, but it's a person of color, taken for being a legal observer and held at the Whipple all day long. I sang when she was released last night. I sang as I made my way with the other street chaplains to 26 and Nicollet yesterday after Alex Petrie's shooting and death. I sang last night as I walked down the street in my neighborhood just a couple of blocks away to where Alex lived, 3527 Garfield. I stood in the streets with my neighbors and held candles, and we sang that song together. We are going to have to lead with love, even when we don't want to, even when it is so very hard. I've been carrying the words of John Cummins, Minister Emeritus, here with me too. He had a phrase that he would say at memorial services that's deep in my heart about how there is but one place in the world where death and time have no dominion, and that place is love. I've been rewriting it. I think he'd be okay with it because he'd be pretty pissed right now. I am rewriting it to say, there is but one place where time and death, where fear and federal agents have no dominion, and that place is love. We have got to make that love so big right now. So friends, that is my ask. Expand, expand, expand that love. Because it is that love that will ground us and transform us as individuals and collectively and create beloved community. We gotta put one foot in front of the other.
My name is Nico. My pronouns are he or they. Dear people of color, I love you. I'm so glad you are here. I'm glad you're here in this city. I'm glad you're here in this community. I am glad you are here for worship this morning. This message is just for you, just for us, for Black people, for Indigenous people, for people of color, for biracial people like me, for transracial adoptees, for we who carry in our bones the stories of generations of oppression and survival and resistance and liberation. This is for us. I want you to know first that there is a BIPOC group here at First Universalist. We meet once a month after community dinners and whenever we want to schedule another gathering. We get together to talk, to let our guard down a bit, to connect with other BIPOC Unitarian Universalists here at church. We also have an email list that we use to promote these gatherings and to invite each other to other things. And so if you identify as a BIPOC adult and you would like to be on that list, send me an email and I'll get you in the loop. BIPOC-only time like this is sacred and rare, and Unitarian Universalism without whiteness at the center is beautiful and life-giving in a way that is difficult to describe. But every time I experience it, I know this is the future of our faith. So for a little while, though we are not alone here, this is BIPOC-centered Unitarian Universalism. This is one little glimpse into one possible way that what our faith can be when we let our roots lead. This message is just for us. We're obviously the numerical minority in this room, but for the next few minutes, we are the center of it. We're giving white people the honor of listening in, but we are the center. This time is ours. And after this time, should you receive any weirdness from white people today or at this week, may you use the word no and the phrase, I will not be devoting my emotional labor to this right now, as non-negotiable and deeply loving prayers. I have been trained in seminary and beyond to write sermons that speak to where most of the congregation is at. And in a faith as white as this one, that almost always means I'm supposed to write towards the white liberal culture and tolerance level. And this is limiting. You should see the powerful words I have cut from beautiful first drafts. Some of them I tucked into my back pocket to slip directly to one of you or to share as a testimony at the next BIPOC group gathering. But today, on this next day of the nightmare of occupation and racial profiling, we BIPOC are the center. We are the only audience I've collected these thoughts for. Do you talk to our ancestors, the ones who gifted us the dream of liberation, the ancestors who looked at the world around them and knew they deserved better, knew that we deserved better, and tried to create it? Those ancestors whose lives made our lives possible, I talk to them all the time. Yesterday, after I watched the video of another Minneapolis resident being executed by ICE, as the shock rolled through my body, I asked our ancestors, what the hell am I supposed to say at worship on Sunday morning? And they answered in bits and pieces through the wisdom of others and from my core that all I need to say is I love you. This is an impossible reality we are living through. The sheer weight of being a person of color, a person targeted for racial profiling and immigration checks, it's too heavy to carry. Every day, double checking before we leave home that we have our papers, every day knowing that that is flimsy armor, this is too much. When our ancestors dreamed of a better future, this was not the image they had in mind. When my family members immigrated here, the American dream that they believed in was one of freedom and abundance. We can reject the lie of the American dream all we want, but at the core of that impulse is the truth that they imagined me before I was even born. They imagined me living the kind of life that was better than the one that they knew. What a grief it is to find that even moving whole worlds to find safety sometimes fails. They didn't know we would experience occupation and fascism in our lifetimes. Or maybe they did, because our ancestors from all corners of the earth, including this corner, did not abandon us in the middle of the mess empty-handed. Our ancestors taught us how to tap into strength, shaped our bodies to bend and move and sing through trauma. Our ancestors wove us into their stories about the world before we even existed. We were dreamed into this very moment as the gifts to the world that we are. We have in our bones everything we need to survive this and to thrive and to hand off the gifts that our children's children need. This is not a sermon of concrete action items like I usually like to do. I'm not citing any theologians. This is just me saying, I love you, on behalf of myself and our ancestors. This is me reminding you that the grief of this world is too much to carry alone, and thank God we don't have to. Our ancestors have got us. We've got each other. Hundreds of First Universalist members have got us. Thousands of people in Minneapolis have got us. Millions of people beyond, and the countless ancestors that they all claim are at our backs. And connected and held as deeply as we are, it is impossible for us to lose. This is the message our ancestors are bringing us today. We are loved. We are not alone. We are holding it together. May it be so.
There's one last simple song I'd love to leave you with. But before we do, would you join me in a very brief text study? The lyrics are, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. There are 3 things I want you to think about before we begin to fill this room with music. What are you holding on to? Would you ask yourself that 3 times and give yourself 3 different answers? Who are your dear ones? Ask yourself 3 times and give 3 different answers. And then what is the dawn? Friends, as we prepare to leave this space, will you hold these answers in your mind and in your heart? And as we gather each other's strength to create a sound that will propel us through another difficult week, keep thinking these answers in your mind and your spirit. As you're willing and able, will you join me in standing? Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Hold Folks, we're going to build this song from a tiny seed to an enormous energy that folks should hear outside on the street. And what that means is I challenge each of you, I welcome each of you to sing one level higher than you ever have. For some of us, that means please sing. And that's okay. For others, it means sing until your voice maybe almost can't take it. Would you join me as you're willing and interested and able in joining hands with those around you? Sending energy to all that you're holding on to, your dear ones, and looking towards the dawn. Every time you sing hold, it connects to the earth, like this. Some of you are still singing only with your heads. Hold on.
Hold on, beloveds, hold on, hold on. We are not alone. We are beloved. We are holding this together. And with the words of the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, again, we will sing together until our songs are songs of victory and our children know themselves to be safe and whole. May we make it so.